Hey guys, and welcome back. Oh, is my audio on? Wait, why can't I hear myself? Hey Dad, I'm going to cut over to you just in case my audio is not working. I can't seem to hear it on my...
They let us know if they can hear us or
Can
not.
you guys hear us?
Let us know if you can hear us. Yeah, we have always problem with the mic not properly connected.
I think it's properly connected. I see it moving up and down, but for some reason I just cannot hear myself. Where's my audio?
We see Snooks is here again.
Hey Snooks, thanks for always joining us. Let me see on this thing.
Hopefully Tara gonna fix that audio.
Well, it's showing up on this, so we're good on audio. I just can't hear it. Okay. Good, Dad.
Okay, guys. Happy to be here with you guys and Tara. And we have some things to talk about the protest which we attend. One of them was in Oviedo. That was protest against, I think that was protest against Trump, right? President Trump.
Well, they're always doing anti-Trump protests. They tend to like put all different causes are always together.
Against our dear President Trump or Elon Musk or you know. But I have to tell you, I went over there and I had fun over there, just watching those people who didn't actually want to talk to us, but they've been screaming, which even I didn't understand what they want to say. Few of them, they talked to us, but, you know, they didn't have not that much to say what they're protesting for. So we have to get our vision about it, and we went also to to Orlando. There was Democratic Party organizing also against the Dutch.
Well,
Right?
so the two protests, if you guys caught the live stream, was one was on May Day, and that was organized by the Seminole County Democrats. And the second one we attended was a immigration protest that was at City Hall, which was also part of like the May Day festivities going on over the weekend.
So the thing it is about the immigration, I mean, we have already established the immigration, and one time I saw it on TV when women called those protesters for the immigration problem what we have, because she asked, why legally when you want to come to this country you have to wait like 6-10 years. She says she want to bring the sister to United States and took her 10 years legally, and now you coming cross the border within a few hours.
You can be released into the U.S.
Yeah, and they you are admitted in the United States. So what the hell we have the law for? You know, there is an immigration law which we have to obey. You know, we all immigrants in the United States, so we have to come the way everybody is coming legally, not just crossing the border and here I am, take care of me. You know, oh, I don't want to work, so you have to take care of me, you know. So that's not right. That's not right. But I leaving you the opinion, okay, because I'm sure you saw it our video about those protests.
At least the live stream. I am behind on editing, so the next like several days I'll be posting the edited 4K version of those protests, and also still from like the weekend before the Mount Dora Festival, as well as the Oviedo 100 years. So those videos will be dropping in the next couple days.
I was wondering why they're deleting the messages.
Oh no, so Snooks is one of our moderators. So she looks for, thank you Snooks for being an awesome moderator. So when the comments are like held or deleted like that you'll see, it's because something's being said inappropriate into the chat.
Okay, so somebody deleting my messages, or
no, not your messages. It's within the chat room and everything. So okay. Snooks, and we have a couple other moderators like you. We see Devon's one of our moderators as well. So they do a great job at maintaining the chat. So that way people are respectful, especially when we're on the ground, which I really appreciate Snooks and Devon, because we are live and people can read what's on our screen as well.
Mm-hmm. So we want to hear also from you guys what you're thinking about those protests, which we, monitoring about it. I mean, we have the greatest president in the United States now, and he's very patriotic. He tried to do things against all these who coming illegally here, or criminals, politicians, which don't obey the law, and even the judges we have probably, I don't want to say anything about the justice in America, because I'm very respectful to them, but hey, they have to obey what is right in the United States.
So a lot of the talks that we've been having with people is about due process, and everybody seems to have different definitions as to what due process is. And so the argument being that due process can, be from a hearing to a trial, but not everybody who is, for example, if they have a immediate deportation order, they don't have a trial and they don't have a hearing. So people who are watching that there's no trial and no hearing, they feel as though due process is not being served.
Well, the thing it is that they're screaming about, one illegal guy who was kicked out from America to El Salvador. What he gonna say? Does that shit answer good? you have to say it what really it is. If you crying about one guy who actually was definitely MS-13 with his tattoos on the body, and I'm sure he did not only that he was illegally here, but he did something illegal also beside this, like even one time you mess up with American law and you came to this country illegally, you should be kicked out without no problem. Not that Democrats crying, and what the hell the Democrats needs all the illegals here, okay? Uh, Protecting them. I know the Justice Department needs them because sometimes they making big money out of them, and the taxpayers mostly pay for it,
Mr. Bill also brought up a good point about like if they wanted to be consistent with due process, did the J6ers truly have due process?
Well, I don't know that much about that due process, but is that have something with the students, right?
Well, the students' immigration courts. So the due process, like for example, if you're arrested, you have to be read your Miranda rights. You have to have a trial, but that's specific to like if a U.S. citizen, for example, breaks the law. So under the Constitution, they're afforded due process. Now, the question that's up for debate is what does due process mean when it comes to the immigration procedures, because there's a different system that's in place there and what is afforded by our US Constitution. So everybody within the US, illegal or not illegal, are supposed to still have the constitutional rights, but that is a strict interpretation, or actually a liberal interpretation of what the Constitution actually means. So I think I was seeing a interview with President Trump earlier when they tried a gotcha moment by saying, like, are you upholding the U.S. Constitution? Because what rights do non-citizens have here in the U.S.? And the question is, what is due process for them? Because when there's an immediate deportation order, they're not supposed to have a hearing. They're not supposed to, like, people think that they're supposed to have a hearing, that every single person's going to have a trial. That's not the case. If there's an immediate deportation order on that person, they are to be deported from the USA immediately.
That's right. Like Dreamcatcher is saying that we're not enough educated. I don't have to be educated about that. When I see the law and constitution protecting the legal citizen here, that's good enough for me. I mean, we have a president and we have a law here who supposed to protect us from something what is illegal done, or some terrorist or whoever coming to the country and try to harm us. That's all what we have to know.
I mean, there are certain things that are going on in with the immigration. What we're seeing in headlines that I don't necessarily agree with, because like I do agree that we can't have anti-Semitism on our campuses, and the student protests, a lot of them did turn violent. So the ones that had turned violent, the organizers need to be held responsible. For example, whenever I throw an event, before I used to produce like shows and everything, I would have event insurance just in case somebody were to become hurt. So the event organizers are the ones who are held responsible for what happens at the event, including if there's protests. So the student protests, for example, in Colombia, being at the forefront, did turn violent. And then so one of those organizers was detained for deportation. It's going through the court systems, and they did uphold that Rubio has the right to, under the Alien Sedition Act, or I'm not exactly sure the name of it off the top of my head, but it is within his legal parameters of deporting him. And so the areas I feel is gray or I'm not for is, example, the one student, Fatima, who had co-written an article with like 5 other people that was published in the school newspaper, and she was being critical of the university's like not willingness to condemn the war in Gaza. And so that to me is quite a gray line as it comes to free speech. So a hot button for debate is what is considered free speech, because just because we have the First Amendment doesn't mean you have the right to, for instance, the old example that everybody always has is you can't yell fire in a closed movie theater or something like that, or you can't incite violence. So if the students, as they were their form of protest, but is also political activity, when you're blocking students from going inside of their classrooms, specifically Jewish students, you can't have like KKK showing up and blocking students or causing other kind of like havoc on campus. Like that is not free speech. Political activism is different than what, if you're condemning the war in Gaza. So a couple of the student stuff is, to me, like I'm not fully in support of, but I do understand why our government is doing it. But, for me, it's a little bit gray. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Dad?
Well, I think, however you come here, okay, don't break the law. Obey what they say. Now, if you break the law and somebody try to protect you, well, like Democrats try to protect the illegal migrants, well, they can pay for their lawyers and protect them. Those who don't want to pay for them, they don't have to pay. Our taxpayers, why I have to work and give my money to the government, and then they can be misused for people who breaking the law. The putting people in prison for breaking the law costs a lot of money. I checked 2 years ago, and it says that keeping a prisoner in jail costs like 100,000 a year. I didn't even make that much money working hard. So that's what I don't agree, that we have to spend the money because somebody comes across the border and are looking for all the rights. Those who come illegally here, one thing what I agree that we should, what that lady says, that who wants to come legally, we have to shorten the time for them to process them to come, because if you want to come legally, we know who you are. If you come illegally here, we don't know if you're terrorist or you belong to Hamas or another organization on MS-13, okay? So, like I says, in a way, you think you're smart and come to United States illegally, crossing to the border. Keep quiet, do work, and nobody will touch you. But if you're going over there and mess up with the law, of course, we don't want to spend the money on you. You have to be deported quickly as possible.
You're right. As it's been repeated over and over, that having a visa is a privilege. It's not everybody's entitled to a visa to be inside of the country. So like specifically with student visas, like you're here to study. So do that and go study.
Yeah, if you're coming to America to study, I mean, why are you getting involved in the politics? In American politics, go to your own country and do the politics. Okay.
For example, the time that I even spent in Thailand, and my friend Adam Francisco also used this analogy that like there was a time when the king had passed away, and you can't say anything against the king. So as a foreigner, I wouldn't be going in and probably voicing my opinions on a public platform or anything. Like if I'm there as a visitor, I'm there to like be a tourist, not get involved into their politics.
Yeah, you go to another country, like, just try to get in a politics, let's say in Saudi Arabia, okay, and say that you are American, you want to implement the American law over there. You're not going to survive even half an hour there. They will kick you out, and they're going to show you.
You have to adapt to the law of the land, and one of our laws of the land is not to cross into the U.S. illegally. And that is a criminal offense. So on the ground, as we've been interviewing people, they tried saying how like, oh, that's just a civil offense. No, it's actually a criminal offense to cross into a country illegally.
No country brought so many people to the country like United States. No country in the world helping so much another countries like United States. And we just don't want to admit that we're spending a lot of money on the other countries while we have in United States own problems like the homelessness or retirees have big problems. And that's what I'm trying to mention every time I'm on a live stream with